Oh no, the fight's out. I forgot to I mean, come on. What did you guys expect? What do you expect? Fart! That's what you expect. You'll never know what I said, too. I revealed the secrets of life at the start of this show. The secrets of life themselves. Their selves was revealed at the top of this stream. And you missed it. You son of a bitch. But it's okay. I forgive you. The secrets of life themselves. Well, maybe doing a stream at 4 in the morning is not the best idea, cognitively speaking. What's my sleep schedule? Typically, I find myself like sleeping in shifts. So it's like I'll go to bed at like 11 p.m. and then I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and I'll get up for 3 or 4 hours and maybe work on a document for a show or do one of these or play some video games, and then the sun starts to come up and I go to sleep again. And then I wake up around, 10 a.m. or something. It's typically how it goes for me. At least recently. But my sleep schedule is notoriously like changeable. Because I think it's just because like I worked weird jobs that had me up at odd hours for most of my life. So I think I've just gotten used to like being more active in the wee hours of the morning than other people are. Now I know you guys can't really tell, but I moved my whole setup. I swapped out my desk today. It's something I've been wanting to do for like 4 months. I had all my shit on this old desk of mine, and like I had this other desk in the other room that's way nicer, slightly larger, way better setup for what I'm doing. I wanted to swap everything onto that and move it around in my room a little bit so that I could have like more room to maneuver. Now I can like actually like rotate in my chair without knocking shit over, which is fucking insane for me. I've been like crammed in a corner at a tiny little desk for like years. You got fatter? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I tubbed way up, dude. This quarantine has not been good for my for my waistline. But yeah, I'm once again uncomfortably fat. Yeah, the camera got fatter. It wasn't me. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? Yes. How do I live deliciously? The camera adds like 80 pounds, dude. 80 pounds. Out the gate, 80 pounds added. Do I enjoy the taste of butter? What the fuck, dude? I think the problem with these like weird, like super late streams sometimes is that it's all Europeans. Like it's 90% of you are Europeans, which means you're insane. You only barely speak English and Oceanics. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's, I know there's some US people here. Yep, Dutch, Washington, Australia, Canadians. The foreign hordes have come to defile. Barbarians all, yeah. Oh, barbarians. Every last one of you. Ensign Sum Ting Wong. All right. Stand down, Ensign. Why, thank you, Eric Weston. So what do you guys want to talk about tonight? What's on your minds at this ungodly hour? You realize that this is the only show on the internet where the burden of entertainment falls in the lap of the audience. 'Tis you that is here to entertain me. And if somehow you get some entertainment out of the deal, then, I guess that's a bonus. But ultimately, 'tis you that's here to entertain me. Cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers. I just want to say, keep it up, Paul, from Atlanta, Georgia. From Hot Atlanta. Look at you. Well, I have no plans on not keeping it up. I can't make any promises. I mean, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But yeah, no, I got no plans to go anywhere or to quit this crazy job of mine. Is that the real Philly the Bridge, or is that a fake Philly the Bridge? I'll answer if it's the real Philly the Bridge. But if it's just a fake Philly the Bridge, then are you good at saving money? Yes. You're a fake Billy. Damn. I knew it. But that's actually just what the real Billy would want us to think. The real Billy would want us to think he's the fake Billy. Do you consider yourself a hardcore gamer or a simp? That's the dichotomy now. I'm either a gamer or a simp. Shit. That's what we've come to in this year, fucking Anno 2020, the year of our Lord. That's the culture. You're either a gamer or a simp. I guess I'm a gamer then. I play enough video games to probably describe myself as such. Game on, man. If you're not gaming, you're giving attention to women, and that's lame as fuck. Whoa. Man, what did my generation do to your generation? What did your parents do to you people? I know what mine did to me. Like, it took me years of therapy to figure all that out. What the fuck did your parents do to you? Holy fuck, man. A couple of super chats went by. Well, I'll be dipped. Let me see if I can catch those. I want to talk about the Mushroom Festival in Hell. All right. I don't know if these people can handle Boognish or not, but we can maybe talk about it. Halfway through reading A Language Older Than Words, it's great, but I get the sense that Jensen has like 5 great ideas he'll repeat over and over. Oh, well, you're right about that. Like Jensen has a very core message, and he always brings it back to the message. So if you're not fond of hearing the same argument made multiple different ways, then Derek Jensen is really not the kind of guy for you. But I'm glad you picked up the book, and I hope you end up enjoying it as much as I did. I need to repurchase all my Jensen books. I left all my Jensen books with all the rest of most of my books back in Cali. Did you hear they made your girl Velma a lesbo? I don't think lesbo's okay anymore. I think it's okay to just say lesbian. But no, they didn't. And let me explain to you why. It's like this new Velma, right? That's lesbian. She's on like the Scare Squad or whatever this show is, right? And to me, that's as much Velma as that stupid little anime looking chibi version of fucking Lion-O is Lion-O. You know how they did like that Thundercats reboot, but it was all, everybody was like stumpy legged little anime characters with big eyes and stuff. Like, I just disregard shit like that. I just look at it and I go, that's not fucking Lion-O, so I don't care. So the new Velma on the new show that I'm never going to watch that isn't canon in my mind is gay. Oh, well. The actual Velma isn't. She might be bi, but the actual Velma isn't gay. So fuck it. You know, what do I care? My mom was an alcoholic. She blamed me for my dad's suicide when I was 13. That was 2007. That's what our parents are like. Jesus Christ. Some of that I can empathize with. I can empathize with the first part, and then that last part, though. That last part. I try and listen to you guys' music to figure out what it is your parents did to you, because you can really listen to my generation's music and you can hear like daddy wasn't there, mommy didn't care. You know what I mean? Like it's all woven throughout my generation's music, but you guys have got this weird shit going on. Like I can't put my finger on your music. It's like everything sucks, but it's party time is basically the that's basically the vibe that I'm getting from, you know, the younger culture and the music and stuff that's designed for and around it. It's like everything sucks, but who cares? It's time to do some fucking MDMA and you know what I mean? So I can't really pick a lot of your psychology out of it. There's a few of those songs that I really got to try and listen to, though. There's that, what was that song that was like it's on the fucking radio like all the time when I lived in Texas in like 2016. I'm trying to remember the lyrics to it. Their music is comatose and dull, but I'm probably just not on the right drugs. That's probably true, TJ. If you were on ecstasy, you'd probably feel different. You got to get on that X, dude, to get with these new kids, or some Adderall. I know a lot of them pop that, or Xannies. You're just on the wrong drugs, man. I'm trying to remember the name of that fucking, or that, not even the name of the band, but that song. What the fuck was it? It was super popular. No, that not EXO Tour Life, although that's another good one to look at. I'm going to pull up the lyrics to EXO Tour Life by Lil Uzi Vert just to give you a taste of the confusion that I'm dealing with personally when it comes to the new generation. Let's see if we can unpack it. Let's see if I can figure you fucking freaks out at this point. So I'm just going to read these. Are you all right? I'm all right. I'm quite all right. And my money's right. Counting them bands all the way the top till they be falling over. Counting them bands on my way to the top till we fallen over. See? So in the first line, it was the bands that were falling over. But now it's, by the way, TJ, bands are like big wads of money. Like when you have like, you know, $10,000 and $100 bills or whatever the fuck. Or it's like 1,020s or whatever it is. I can't even remember. It's like a rack. The bands. And then the chorus is, I don't really care if you cry. On the real, you should have never lied. Should have saw by the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I'm not afraid to die. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Repeated. On the face of it, there's a lot of edge lordism going on here, which I can identify with. A lot of the music of my childhood and stuff is edgy. But the edge is very obscured here by the party time vibe. Hey, Bubba, I'm drunk as hell, and I want to say the fact of the matter is Kemp don't care us, man. Also, check out a band called Flogging Molly. All right, Austin Travis. Go drink some water and go to bed, my friend. I mean, I listen to a lot of fucking new music. You know, I really am trying to find the nuggets of stuff that I can. I like this song that I'm talking about here. No, I don't listen to it a lot, but here's the second verse of EXO Tour Life, which I think gives us a little more insight. Phantom that's all red, inside all white. So that's a Rolls Royce Phantom with white exterior or white interior and a red exterior. Like something you ride a sled down. I just want that head. So I guess that's like a snow pun. The interior of his Phantom is white like snow, and he just wants to get head in the Phantom. My Brittany got mad. I'm barely her man now. Everybody got the same swag now. Watch the way that I tear it down. Stacking my bands all the way to the top, all the way till my band's fallen over. Every time that you leave your spot, your girlfriend call me like, come on over. So he's like, he's fucking my girlfriend? What kind of message is that he's given me? I like the way that she treat me. He is. Gonna leave you, won't leave me. I call it that Casanova. Man, fuck you, little Uzi Vert. Stay away from my girlfriend, man. You can recommend music for my childhood suicidal parents. My mom used to threaten to kill me, and my brothers hate me. I'm the result of a failed condom. Jesus. All right, Michael Reed. We get it. We get it, bro. Uzi, man, what the fuck? She say she's still going on about my girlfriend. She say I'm insane. Yeah, I might blow my brain out. Hey, Zanny, help the pain. Yeah, please, Zanny, make it go away. I'm committed, not addicted, but it keep control of me. All the pain now, I can feel it. I swear that it's slowing me. And then it got sad. See, how am I? You just told me you're fucking my girlfriend and I was supposed to feel bad for you? This is what throws me off about this generation. It's like, I fuck your bitch. I cry myself to sleep. It's like, fuck you and I'm sorry. Is that how I'm supposed to respond to that? I fuck your bitch and I can barely stand looking at myself in the mirror. It's like, the fuck am I doing? What's going on here? A gloomer? Is that a new one? I mean, it's not technically the 2 Paul streams in one day. Because today, technically, is tomorrow. I've always seen this song as either him masking his pain in the rap persona that he has to keep going, or his song was altered by corporate suits. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much of that is going on in music now. You know, I listen to a lot of like more modern rap stuff, and it's all very stripped down. I listen to a lot of the Lils, you know. I used to hate on the Lils. TJ still does. TJ still thinks the Lils are all a bunch of, you know, I won't say it. He would say it. He'd just come right out and say it. He thinks they're all a bunch of F words. I don't necessarily feel that way. I like me some of the Lils. I can get with some of the Lils, but it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on lyrically with the Lils. You know what I mean? It's a lot of mixed messages and a lot of drugs and partying and stuff. Which, you know, whatever. It's like disco to me. Like, it really reminds me of disco more than any other type of music that I'm familiar with in terms of its content. It's like, you know, got an ass shaking beat and it's all about having a good time and doing drugs and shit. So it's basically new disco and it's fire. Yeah. Everybody in the club is shaking their booty to it, you know? It's lit. Yeah. Bro. It's litty. I prefer real disco. I mean, I probably do too, but like I said, I found some I can appreciate. You like the production of rap music more than other music? I think I appreciate it more. Like I can tell when a rock song or whatever is really well produced. In fact, me and TJ were hashing it out the other day about this band Cell Dweller, this early 2000s kind of industrial techno metal band. And I was telling TJ how I just recently started like I popped on and listened to a couple songs by them that I used to listen to. And I was having this conundrum like, is this hard? Like, is this music hard or is it pussy metal? Like, is this pussy rock? Because I can't tell anymore. Back when I was listening to it, I remember thinking like, this is pretty hard. But back in the day, I didn't think that. Or back in the day, I thought that. Now I don't think that. I get that I was a downer, but at the end. But the message I wanted to get across was my story ain't unique. And I want you to say something uplifting. Oh, Michael. Dude, do you know who where you are? Do you know who I am? Uplifting. I don't really do uplifting all that well, man. You came to like you know what I mean? Uplifting? You want me to say something uplifting now? Sing him a song? Okay. Why do birds suddenly appear every time that you're near? Just like me, they want to be close to you. Thank you, Michael. I don't know. Is that gonna do it? Was that enough? That'll do, pig. That'll do. You should sing a song about windmills from the perspective of Trump.
One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Why be an atheist when there's frickin' awesome faiths? Dude, you got me. Never was able to answer that question. Always stumped me with that. Probably the best Christian argument I've ever heard. We need some Fat Richard stories. I think I've told you guys like pretty much all my Fat Richard memes. Like I told you guys about when he busted me, right? He busted me smoking on campus. I told you guys about the collaborators. I told you guys how he used to harass the kids to make them pull up their pants or take their hats off and put it in their backpack or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know that I have any more Fat Richard memes for you guys, unfortunately. Fat Richard was just Fat Richard, the security guard at my school, for those of you who might be lost. How fat was Richard? He wasn't like super fat. He's probably like my size fat. Probably like a 300 pounder, you know, but not like a, you know, not like a dude that needed a hover round to get around, but good and fat. He didn't. Oh no, he didn't catch me smoking weed on campus. I did do that, but not when Fat Richard was around. I'm not that stupid. He caught me smoking cigarettes on campus, which is a far lesser offense, but still back in them days, that was a no-no. It was a big, bad no-no. Hey, Paul, there was a security at our high school named Eddie Murphy, huh? What did you... So I know that this Paul's dad guy is from Madera. He's from my hometown. So I'm assuming you go to the same school that I went to. Or possibly you did. Or at least your dad did. Also, why isn't my account thumbnail showing up on stream? You fucking got me, bro. You fucking got me, bro. I can't help you with that. Best of the 6 Dune novels. I don't know. I like the original, probably the best of all of them, but God Emperor is really good as well. You must be proud of your big internet celebrity son, Paul's dad. Yeah. Yeah, are you proud of me, Dad? Look, Dad, I'm somebody. I did it, Dad. I really am somebody. Paul's dad is like the encouraging, positive dad that I never had. How do you feel about sea shanties? I feel like that in another life, I probably sang a lot of them. I'm pretty sure I was a pirate in a previous life. If that whole reincarnation shit is real, on the off chance, you know? If it was real, I'm pretty sure I was a pirate because even like since I was a little kid, I was obsessed with pirates, man. I wanted to be a pirate. Disneyland to me, like I was very lucky as a little kid because we lived close enough to go to Disneyland once in a while. And every time I went, it was basically Pirates of the Caribbean. The ride is all I wanted to do. My parents would ride it with me like 3 or 4 times, and then they'd get sick of it. And they'd be like, okay, PJ, we got to ride something else. But really, if it was left up to me, I'd pay the entry fee and just ride Pirates over and over again. I think it's because I used to be a pirate. You know, back in a previous life. Yo ho, the pirate's life for me. Arr. We kill and we plunder, we pillage and loot. Give up, me hearties, yo ho. Yar har fiddle dee. You are a pirate. What's a pirate's favorite letter? R. TJ has a great joke about that. He's like, he'll ask you, what be a pirate's favorite letter? And you get it. You're supposed to go like R, and he's like, no, the sea be his first love. It is a dad joke, but it's a pretty good one. credit where it's due. I heard it. I heard that from TJ for the first time. Yar har fiddly dee. I am a pirate. Paul, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey fun? Yes. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is fun to a point, and then it becomes a job. I'm just warning you, like, if you're like me, those types of games, there's a certain kind of game, and I really can't put my finger on it. They're open world kind of game where you have a main quest and a ton of optional content, right? So games like Grand Theft Auto, Sleeping Dogs, now it's not all of those kinds of games. Sometimes I can play those kinds of games and I just do what I want and I kind of skip some of the side content. But if one of those games hits me the right way, like I have to do everything. Like I have to 100% that game, or at the very least, like come close, like I want to do everything. Thoughts on Cassandra versus Alexios and why? Well, yeah, I picked Cassandra, of course. I wasn't about to play as Alexios, but I thought that was cool. You got to choose. Like it was kind of neat what they did. You choose either the brother or the sister to play as, and then if you choose, the brother, then the sister is the villain, and if you choose the sister, the brother is the villain. It's kind of a cool. I liked that. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey had a cool world. I liked the way the character controlled. The combat was fun. I liked leveling up, like picking different things to level up and kind of making my type of character or whatever the fuck. They did all that really well, I think. But for me, there was just too much shit to do. Like I started probably halfway through my playthrough ignoring most of like the quote unquote side quests, which are like everywhere, like the little like just quests that pop up where it's like, hey, please take this over here. I did tons of those. Like for half of my playthrough, every one of those that I ran across, I did. And then about halfway through, I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing that anymore. But that's still, I had to open the whole map. Like I had to open the whole fucking map. I had to go to every point of interest on the map and get the little green check mark on it. It's clear, you've done this fortress, you've done this bandit camp, you've done this fucking thing. And there was like, I don't even know, like 300 or 400 of those spread out over this giant fucking map. There was all of the ones out at sea. I played it on the PS4. Yeah, I don't remember how much it was, but I think I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey for a grand total of like 100 hours or something, or 80 hours before it was like I was done with it. I went ahead and just like finished up all the shit, opened up the rest of the map, finished the main quest or whatever, and I think by the end of that I was at like 80 hours or some shit of play. How do you have time to do that? I didn't do it all like in one sitting. I played it over the course of like 3 or 4 months. Play a few hours here and there before you go to bed or whatever the fuck. Can you do instant assassinations? Yes. I built an assassin character, so pretty much there was like a few characters in the game that I could get like an assassination off on and it wouldn't kill them outright. But I'm about 400 hours into Animal Crossing. Yeah. There's a lot of games that it's just like easy to dump lots and lots of hours into because they're just kind of like fun and relaxing to play. At least tell us you fave existential nightmare. Michael Reed, you are my favorite existential nightmare. Like, I'm playing a game right now that I know I'm going to spend fucking thousands, or maybe not thousands, but like at least 100 hours playing. This Death Stranding shit. All the optional stuff that's unlocking for me, like the fact that I can build shit that persists in other people's worlds and get likes and shit for it, even though those likes, you know, don't really amount to much, and I could probably just plow through and finish the game. I'm gonna build bridges and roads to every fucking place in Death Stranding, dude. I'm gonna keep the shit. I'm gonna do all the extra shit. Do you buy DLC or do you try and avoid it? It depends on the game. Like, if there's a game that I really liked playing that comes out with a new DLC or something, I'll pick it up. Like, I like that kind of DLC. Like, I think about, like, because that to me is what DLC should be. It's like, okay, you played the core game, you beat it, you really liked it. Here's more. Here's a few more levels, or here's an alternate character you can play or something. I think that kind of DLC is fine. I hate games that ship with DLC, like day one, where it's like, here's the core game, and if you want to unlock all these other missions, here's another $39.99 for the season pass. That type of shit. Miss me with that. Because here's the thing. Unless you're Rockstar Games or something, you're not getting my money for that shit, dude. I will wait. I will wait until there's a Game of the Year edition of your fucking game, and then I'll wait until it's on Steam sale for $15, and then I'll buy it. Like, if you're going to do me that way, that's the way it is. Like, I'm gonna play your game, but I'm gonna play it for $15 a year and a half, 2 years from now. Why don't you pirate it? I used to pirate games. I used to pirate everything. I used to pirate movies. I used to pirate games. I used to pirate music. And I reached a point in my life where, like, I could no longer excuse it. Like, when I started doing it, I was like working a fucking Starbucks job and barely making my rent and shit. Like, I legitimately didn't have the money to go out and buy a video game. I didn't have the money to go out and buy the new music CDs and shit from the bands that I liked. So I stole. When I reached a certain level of, like, income in my life, the hypocrisy of it started to slap me in the face. And then especially since I've worked in an industry that makes content, like, my job is making content that some people pirate, I'm just like, no, I'm just not going to do that anymore. So I don't participate. Like, the closest that I come to is I will, because I subscribe to, like, Amazon Prime. I have a Netflix subscription, right? If I can't get a movie that I want on one of those two things, I'll find some shady Russian streaming site or some shit, and I'll just stream it. Like, that's the closest I come to piracy anymore. I don't download movies. I don't torrent. I don't even have a torrent program installed on my computer. Like, I'll go to some shady, like, movies123.ru or whatever the fuck. Not every streaming site sucks. You can actually find, like, some pretty good ones. Like, you can find some high quality fucking brand new movies out there on some shady ass sites if that's what you're looking for, but grow a pair? What are you talking about, dude? Grow a pair. Money for Moral Paul. Hey, thanks. Like, I don't really care what other people do. I'm not trying to, like, stand in judgment of people. If you want to torrent everything under the sun or whatever, you go right ahead, but it just ain't it's not my cup of tea. Mountain Dew Baja Blast is a delicious drink to help you stay fresh this summer. Oh. I stopped pirating after I destroyed 2 computers with massive amounts of spyware and viruses. I mean, you got to be dumb. You were just doing it wrong, dude. Like I pirated for a long time. I torrented a ton of shit, and I never once had a fucking virus. Yeah. You got to find it like like I had private trackers and shit. Like I can't remember the name of a lot of them now, but there were a couple of like private movie trackers, music trackers, and game trackers that Torrent Day. It doesn't sound familiar. This would have been, like I said, this would have been like years and years ago in the 2010s, you know. 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, that kind of zone. It's not even really about the stealing aspect of it. It's just I started to feel kind of pathetic. I was just like, dude, I can afford to pay $2.99 and rent this movie and watch it. Like, I started to feel like somebody that was like walking into like Blockbuster and like tucking movies under my arm and running out the door or something. I was just like, I don't, you know. And video games, it was kind of the same way. It just started to feel like shitty to do because I can afford to wait for a video game. And dude, what is this constant fucking raffle mayo emoji spam that's going on? Missy Ann, you're on fucking notice. Like just constant, like every 15 seconds, just 18 raffle mayos. Get out of here. The fuck out of here with that shit, man. She's from Instagram. That's how they communicate. Yeah, the ice we skate is getting pretty thin. Yep. You respect me? That's great, man. It makes me feel better. The reason I'm going to get out of bed tomorrow morning is for your respect. Paul, I don't know if it's like this where you guys are at, but it's wild watching people around my rural area act like it's summer of 2019, not a COVID care in the world. I don't really know because I don't leave the house all that often. I've left my house to go to the doctor's office since COVID started. So, yeah, I've seen people around and shit not wearing masks, so I'm pretty sure that's the way it is, but I don't go out in it. Like, I'm taking this shit seriously as I can. I'm being as safe as I possibly fucking can. Dude, there are 100 diseases out there. Yeah, dude. There's more than 100. Paul, will there be a renaissance after COVID, like with the historical plague? Dude, I had this talk with my mom yesterday. I had this like long 3-hour mom phone conversation that rambled all over the place. It was like a venting conversation. It was me venting about shit from my my divorce and like all the bullshit that went around, you know, surrounded that, and her venting about, you know, shit in her life, and then like we came around to you know, this COVID shit. And my mom was really, she's trying to undermine it. My stepdad is really influential on my mom. And my stepdad is one of these dudes. He's not like a Republican, But he's going to come up with some kind of like conspiracy theory. And that's what, he's just like, I think that it's overblown and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like the bodies are piling up in his state, in his county. And I was just talking to my mom, and she would make some statement like, well, she did this like, what about the kids thing? She was like, you know how many little kids are stuck in like abusive situations and their only escape is school? And I'm like, Mama, that's horrible. And yeah, that is going on right now. There's a lot of kids that are trapped and other people that are trapped in abusive situations that they usually have some sort of escape from. And they're now locked down in it. And that sucks. But it's just like, Mom, you understand that like that's a separate issue from the main issue here. The issue is that those people are home along with the rest of everybody else so that we get this disease down to a normal fucking level to where it's not killing thousands of people every fucking day. Yep, mass evictions coming. I've been telling you guys about that since I believe like mid-June is when I started harping on that. There was a round of them in June at the end, but the real big kind of first wave, and it's only the first, but the real big first wave of mass evictions will hit the country at the end of this month and the beginning of next month. Around the 7th of next month is when most people will be getting their final notice letters and shit. So new housing crisis. Yeah. I remember I was talking on Discord, I think. I can't remember where I was. Talking to somebody in the fan community somewhere. Maybe it was on Twitter. But somebody was like, Paul, you were talking about this eviction crisis, and I was listening to you, one of your Highdeologies, and you were talking about this looming eviction housing crisis. And he's like, I thought you were kind of overblowing it, but he was like, I was driving through my neighborhood, and I saw a family that used to own a house like down and around the block from me on my way to work. Like people that own this house literally sitting on the curb with a sign. It was like both parents and two kids because they'd been locked out of their own home. I was like, fuck. Oh, I don't hate you. Don't worry about it. It's too much emojiing. I'm a boomer. I can't handle too many emojis. But trust me, I don't hate you. Thanks for the 10 euros there, Greg O'Shea. And the flying pickle. Is that a pickle? Is that a pear? He's a pear. He's a super pear. That's cool. Thank you. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, you got that right. There's no end to the COVID hoax. It's meant to be a perpetual, looming, society-altering, constantly mutating super virus. The COVID hoax? Dude, Cynic, tell me you're not that dumb, dude. Tell me you're not so dumb as to think that, like, overflowing fucking ICUs are somehow a hoax. Please tell me, dude. Please tell me. It's true, though. Get the fuck out of here, dude. COVID was created in the hollow moon, yeah. They cooked it up in that lab in the hollow moon. Are you aware of coronaviruses? Like, did you know about them in general before all this started? Well, I knew about SARS. SARS is a coronavirus. But no, did I know about coronavirus prior to this outbreak? No, I didn't. No. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna hash this one out. So yeah, I answered your question. So once again, you got to tell me how it's a hoax. Get to the hoax part. Would you visit Australia? We have a bush called the Gimpy Gimpy that causes so much pain that people off themselves. Also, how do we support you? Huh? Yeah, I'd visit Australia. I would stay out of the Gimpy Gimpy. And you're doing, you're donating. That's one way to do it. You're doing good. You're doing well. You keep giving me Australian dollars, and that's cool. But yeah, no, go ahead. Where's Cynic at? Where you at with this? I want to hear how this is a hoax. Hundreds of mutations closely related to the seasonal flu. The point is 99% of people have it. What? No. It's not a flu, number one. Number two, 99% of people don't have COVID-19. People are not just mysteriously getting pneumonia. And if you're one of these, the flu kills people every fucking season, guys, COVID is killing people at a rate of almost 10 times that globally. So there's no hoax going on here, dude. The fucking epidemiologists and scientists have been warning us about this type of a fucking outbreak for a long time. We've had smaller versions, even with coronavirus. SARS killed a bunch of fucking people and almost went pandemic. Like, it was a big deal. It was a coronavirus. Just didn't quite get as far as this one did. Wasn't quite as fucking virulent. Wasn't quite as transmittable. Like, we've been being warned about this for fucking literally decades, since I was a kid. And probably before. It's not a matter of if, but when. And here it is, and you're going, it's a fucking hoax, bro. It's a hoax. It's all a fucking hoax, man. It's like, what? Oh, fuck me, man. This isn't the last. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, there's going to be another one of these, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. Our world is just fucking absolutely set up to be the perfect viral trend, like planes, boats, the fact that we're all world travelers now, the fact that world travelers are just walking among us. It's just like, it's virus heaven. That organism is loving the modern age, dude. It's like, holy fuck, man. They just keep getting denser and denser. Hell yes. I think it's supper time. COVID is a fucking organism that eats human beings. Like, COVID-19 is an organism that feeds on human beings. And it's feeding on us right now. It's hunting us in the streets. So there's no hoax, dude. And you need to quit spreading that shit, honestly. Like, you need to educate yourself and quit being on the wrong side of this, because walking around and telling people this is a hoax ultimately is going to fucking endanger lives. The end game, think the Hunger Games meets 1984 meets the Matrix. Okay, dude. COVID is going to turn the world into the Matrix. Got it. Well, I tell you what, dude, you got me fucking convinced, bro. You got me convinced. The world is going to become, it's going to become the Matrix because of COVID-19, dude. That's the end game. Basically, all dystopias rolled into one. Yeah, all the dystopias that I could think of, all the majorly well-known dystopias, it's all gonna happen, dude. Neo's gonna be flying around. The Ministry of Truth is gonna be chasing him. You know what I mean? What was the other one he said it was gonna be? 1984. It was the Matrix. Was it Terminator? Yeah. Terminators are going to be chasing around Neo. Ministry of Truth is going to be telling everybody everything's okay, that war is peace. Of course it's dangerous. And it's just like, you know, there are just certain people that feel like they're real smart. Like this society, because we live in this like weird post-truth world where even our news media is just outright blatantly lying to us on the regular. You know what I mean? People have gotten overly skeptical. You know, and you can't, to some degree, you can't blame them. But when it comes to shit like this, I mean, it's just fucking irresponsible to be running around telling people it's a goddamn hoax. It's like it's not a hoax. Of course, it spiked after the protests and after the reopenings, which happened in concert with a lot of the protests. So, yeah. It's going to spike anytime that mass amounts of human beings get together. Like that's just the way it is. This Kovac thing sounds like a lot of hoopla to me. I keep hearing everybody talking about this Kovac, whatever it is. Sounds like a bunch of hooey and flim-flam, if you ask me. Majority of Americans aren't listening to the social distancing rule. If this hoax is supposed to cause fear-induced obedience, it isn't working. Yeah. But see, that's the problem, is like people that think it's a hoax think that means that they're winning against it. They're like, look at how many people don't give a fuck about this. It's not working. You're not going to fearmonger us this time. And then they end up in the fucking hospital with a rest in peace in the fucking local newspaper and shit. But none of the other assholes that feel that way are affected. So they just keep right on going, it's a fucking hoax, man. Like Cynic is one of those people. You can just tell he'll be like, this is a hoax. Until his mom gets it or something. Till his sister comes down with it and is in the hospital with a tube down her throat, breathing for her. Then he'll be like, oh, what happened, man? Why did I do this? But it won't matter because he's just one dork. See, that's the sad thing. And that really is applicable to a lot of the problems that we talk about here on this show. Is like, for some people, shit doesn't hit home until it hits them in their life. So the reason the housing crisis in 2008 was such a big deal is because people that normally went, nothing's wrong, were suddenly on the street. were suddenly underwater on these giant mortgages and they couldn't make the note. And they were suddenly looking for apartments and shit. You know what I mean? It hit so, like, everybody knew somebody that lost their house in that shit. It hit close to home. And people took it seriously. It's the same shit with this COVID. Like, I'm very lucky. I don't know anybody in my personal life, in my close circle of like friends and family. Now, there may be somebody that I don't know about. But as of right now, as far as I know, nobody that I know and I'm close to has it or has had it. But I know how incredibly rare and how lucky I am. Because I hear from other people. You know, I have 2 friends that have it. I have 2 family members that had it. I had it. It's like, and that's just the way it is. Like, you know, you can't tell people enough that there's a problem. There are certain people that just do not care about a problem until it affects them personally. And then when it affects them personally, they mass mobilize and demand it be addressed. They immediately shed any kind of skepticism that they had about the problem. Any kind of conspiracy theory that they had in their head melts away. And they never really pay any price for it other than being wrong once and then pretending they never were. But that's just the way it is. It's just what we deal with. Good smelling incense time. So is this going to start to be the age of China, or did they have too many problems too? I mean, they may be ascendant, but they've got the same problem we all have when it comes to the ecosystem collapsing. Like globally, localized ecosystems are collapsing at an alarming rate. Species are disappearing from the oceans and the land masses at an alarming rate. The ocean is acidifying. The temperature is climbing worryingly higher and higher over the mean. So, yeah. On a long enough time scale, we're all fucked. But yeah, China is probably positioned to be the next #1 global superpower, if they're not already. China. China's buying up real estate like it's going out of style because it is. It's the one commodity they're not making more of. Land. See, it's what rich people, like a lot of rich people own vast tracts of land usually. Vast amounts of boutique real estate. That's one way that ultra rich people like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and, Warren Buffett and shit. That's part of their portfolios as rich people. Now think about a country with access to, whatever China's GDP is. Probably trillions in capital in terms of what they can borrow against. They're going to buy everything they can. They're going to own everything. The United States is doing the same thing. The United States, heavily invests in foreign areas and establishes military bases in places that it hopes to gain influence over and maintain influence over. It's a chess game, but America's losing. We're being outmaneuvered because we can't get our shit together. We've already lost. Well, I mean, that's a pessimistic outlook and may very well be true. It may be true. You may be right. Maybe we've lost already, but at the very least, we're losing. How do you reverse course? You don't. There's no course reversal. When it comes to like climate change, we're fucked. It's too late. 0 hour was like when I was a kid. In the 80s, if we had really, really, and I'm talking globally here too, not just the United States, if globally in 1980 or so, people had started taking seriously the climate message and started transitioning away from fossil fuels and heavily investing in research into alternative fuels and alternative power sources and battery technology, humanity had a divergent path, but our chance to walk that path away from this disaster ended in about 1980. And nobody took it seriously then. Nobody takes it seriously now. Until, of course, they're in one of these communities that's impacted by it. Until they're a farmer who's living in the new Dust Bowl or somebody living on the coast whose land is getting eaten away by the ocean. Then they care. Just like with COVID. It's a hoax. It's bullshit. It's ignorable until mom's got it. Until my sister's got it. Until my girlfriend or my best friend has it. Then it's oh shit. Something needs to be done. And it's just like, take a look at the third world for an example of what's on the way. And that's not a joke and that's not hyperbole. The third world right now is suffering the brunt of climate change. And our little insular bubble of capitalistic control has shielded a lot of us from a lot of the worst of it. But guess what? Times they are a-changin'. Is there any hope? What is hope to you? Hope for what? Like hope for the status quo of like, oh man, I just want commercialism and I just want my life the way it was in 2018 and that in perpetuity? No, there's no hope for that. Like what do you hope for? You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, when they ask that question, is there any hope? That's really what they're talking about. Is there any hope for a return to normalcy? It's normalcy that bought us this. It's 2018 and 2016 and the good years. It's 2012 and 2010. It's the, You know, those are the years that bought us this fucking tragedy. They bought us COVID-19. They bought us fucking climate change. They bought us war, famine, the coming housing crisis, the coming economic collapse, the social unrest. That was the price of all that normalcy and comfort for you. Was the pressure cooker was being turned up on people that are at the bottom rung of this fucking society. And the pressure cooker of our fucking climate has been cranked up and up and up and up. The pressure cooker that is our economy has just been thrown on top of a giant bonfire, and we're all listening to it go, whee! And we think that's a good thing. It's about to fucking blow up. Like, why do you think that these fucking lawmakers, mostly on the Republican side of things, are pushing so hard to reopen in the midst of this fucking horrible pandemic? Because the status quo has ground almost to a halt. And they're at a precipice where they have to decide, like, are we going to give people money, or are we going to let our fucking citizenry starve in the streets? They want desperately to put the genie back in the bottle and go back to fucking 2016, and it's over. 2016 is not coming back again. And the more we try and sustain it, the more damage we're going to do. The more bodies are going to be piled up in fucking freezer trucks because there's no more room in the morgue. That's where we're at. Like, as a species, that's where we're at, guys. If they don't take radical fucking action, their economy is going to go belly fucking up. I say their economy like it's theirs, our economy. When I say our, I don't mean the United States economy. I mean the globalized economy. We are a global economy now. We are all one economy, intermingled, interwoven, incestuous as fuck. We all got our hands in each other's pockets, and those pockets are about to be fucking filled with lint. It is about to fucking go down. Listen to the economists. Listen to the environmentalists. Listen to the scientists on both sides of those issues. You shouldn't blindly listen to anyone, in my opinion, no. But listen to the consensus of educated people in the scientific field that you're talking about, especially when it comes to life and death scenarios. If the vast majority of scientists are saying, holy fucking shit, the world's on fire, species are disappearing, the oceans are fucking acidifying, 85% of the large ocean fish are gone from the oceans, you better listen to it. If the vast majority of people who make studying the economy their fucking job are going, we're teetering on the precipice of a giant 2008 style free fall fucking economic crash, it would behoove you to listen. Because those experts were saying the same thing in the 2 and 3 years before 2008. There was this drumbeat of economists saying there's this giant bubble in housing. That's what they called it back in 2016 and 2015. Most people were like, happy days are here again, because, you know, loans were cheap and affordable, and houses were attainable for people that normally would not have made enough money to have a house, and it was just a big old party. And economists were going, guys, there's this, when this pops, people are going to lose everything. And sure enough, late 2007, early 2008, those fucking pink slips started showing up on people's doors. People were underwater, double the value of their house on fucking crazy, variable rate mortgages and subprime mortgages, and all that shit was just being gambled with in the casino. So all that debt was being packaged up and gambled around up in Wall Street, and it all just fucking came due. Like the bill came due. It's like the casino manager tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Sir, you got to pay your fucking room bill." And you look around and it looks like fucking Hunter S. Thompson and, Mr. Gonzo's room. You're just like waist deep in water, wearing a fucking lizard tail, going, "Holy shit, the bill's due for this?" But there ain't no running out on it. I mean, pretty fucking crazy, dude. When the white rabbit peaks, I want you to toss the radio in the bath with me. I'm from Iran, and the inflation here is so high that $1 equals 260,000 rials. By the way, if and when I escape from here, I would love to someday meet you. I hope you do. I really hope you do, my friend. I hope we get the chance to meet someday. I hope you get away from that fucking place. But I hate to tell you that there's not a lot of places you can go anymore. Like, it's everywhere. Everywhere is a fucking mess. But you'd be better off in our mess, I guess, probably, than the mess you're in now. Paul, if you know that's the case, why do you support policies that make things worse? Is it for acceleration? This has to happen. What have I been talking? If you've been listening tonight, and I don't know if you have been, but let me tell you what a driving theme that a lot of people may not have noticed about the talk that we've been having tonight is. Things have to hit people at home for them to care about them. Things have to happen to people for them to care about them. There is a huge swath of people in general on this planet that don't give a fuck what happens on the planet until it happens on their front door. This has to happen. This collapse that's coming is going to kill millions of people. It's going to put people on the street. It's going to expose people to this horrible disease. It is horrible. I'm not rooting for it, but it has to happen. Because people will not give a fuck until it does. The government will not act until the people demand it, and the people are not going to demand that this government establish a UBI and establish a single-payer health care option until people are desperate and on the streets and facing fucking homelessness, and the rising tide of greed becomes ever more apparent to them. But it's not going to happen until it hits their front door. Until it's their house that's on the line, until it's their apartment that's having their shit thrown in the street. And that means that millions of people are going to die worldwide because of this. From all kinds of shit. From COVID-19, from exposure to some other fucking disease on the streets, to exposure to the elements, starvation in some places of the world. It's going to be a fucking shit show. But it has to happen. I'm a total loser, but being born into a rich family affords me the privilege of watching the world go down from the comfort of my home without it affecting you. Life is not fair. It'll affect you, my friend. Trust me, coming to a front door in your nice little gated community or your little mansion complex near you, this is not something that the rich in this country are going to get to completely duck unless you're like uber rich, unless you own a fucking island fortress. Yeah, you in trouble. We're all in trouble. This is coming for you too. A lot of the money that your family has that affords you that high level of comfort is probably tied up in the stock market, and it's about to disappear. I have a feeling that your family has a lot less liquidity than you think it does. You know, when the stock market crashed in 1920, a lot of rich people went belly up and ended up on the goddamn streets. Should there be a stock market? Should there be a big casino where corporations get to gamble on their hypothetical future value? No. No, there shouldn't be. No. That's why you sell your stocks before the collapse and buy back in after. Sure, and a lot of people will do that, but what do you do in the meantime? When the currency is devalued, so you take your stocks out and you put it into what? Gold? You can't take a gold doubloon and buy food and pay a mortgage with it. So when the market crashes, the currency is devalued in order to try and stop that, which means your money's worth less, which means you've lost money by taking it out of those stocks. And then when you go back into the market, you're buying back in with money that's worth less. You understand the cascading effect that an economic crash has? Nobody's not going to be touched by this. There are certain people that are wealthy enough that it doesn't matter, but there are certain people that think they're wealthy that are going to find that they aren't. Just like Bastian staring at himself in the fucking mirror of truth. Dude, that movie, the more I think about that movie as an adult, I was like, fuck, man, am I glad that I watched that movie, The Never-Ending Story, as a kid. It is chock goddamn full of subtext and craziness. Life lessons and commentaries on the world. Good men find that they are cruel. Wise men find that they are stupid. Rich men find that they are poor. Yeah, dude, I want to play the Rockbiter in a reboot. They look like good, strong hands, don't they? My friends, I couldn't hold on to them. The nothing, it came and took them away. The night hop, the little man and his racing snail, and even the stupid bat. I love that shit, dude. Oh, I could knock out the fucking rock biter, dude. The never-ending story didn't end. You're an idiot if you think the never-ending story ended and thus defeated its own premise. It didn't end. The movie ends with, but that's a story for another time. Bastion literally like recreates the world and goes on a new adventure. Like it ends with him flying on a luck dragon through the streets of New York. Fuck off. The never-ending story never ended. I've always fantasized about remaking that film because they never fully adapted the book. In the book, Bastion goes mad with power and kills all his enemies. Cool. I'd be fine with just a remake of the sappier, message-laden child's film from the 80s because that movie fucking, when I was a kid, that was one of those movies that like lasered itself onto my brain. I was like, oh. And I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it, and I watched it, and I learned every little part of it, and I didn't really understand the significance of what I was doing until way later in my life. But it was just like I was learning those lessons. I was looking at it and seeing life and looking at characters in it and seeing people in my life that were like them, and I was starting to pick up on the subtext, you know what I mean? Couldn't really articulate it as a kid, definitely didn't understand what I was doing, but looking back on it as an adult, all those rewatches of that film have left me with this like, whoa, this is one of these movies that has way more to say than people give it fucking credit for. Like people just kind of readily dismiss this as like a childhood kind of kids fantasy movie, which it is. But it is chock full of very adult themes, very adult, philosophical ideas. The Dark Crystal, oh my God, the same thing. When I was a kid, I was obsessed. It was just like so disturbing and so scary and so weird and alien. A lot going on there as well, for sure. Yeah, I agree, man. Never Ending Story, underrated film for sure. A lot of people just shit on it, make fun of it. I've seen like these shitty, like review channels pooping on it, and I'm just like, fuck you. Yeah, Goonies was my favorite movie as a kid, and I grew up around the time the Goonies was a new movie, so I'm very lucky. But yeah, Goonies is still one of my favorite movies. Like that's another movie that a lot of people dismiss as just like a fun pirate fantasy romp, which it is. But it's another movie that's chock full of subtext and life lessons and Easter eggs for those of those people that are willing to hunt them. Yeah, I sat down and I tried to watch that Hook movie from the 90s with my girlfriend. She'd never seen it. And I don't, I'm not a huge fan of it. I like some parts of it. We got about like, I don't know, a third of the way through it. And she was like, you can keep watching, but I'm just not feeling this. And I was like, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. This movie is really pretty bad. Paul, everything's going to be all right. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for the meaningless platitude. It really made me feel better today. I sure do appreciate the meaningless platitudes this early in the morning on a fucking Monday. Vey. Yeah, it gets better. UBI and single payer would only increase the problems that exist. I mean, okay, fair enough, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, there's a radical shift coming in the way people live, and it is either going to be a shift towards another kind of socialist reinvestment in the country, a la the New Deal, or it's going to be a descent into a new modern Great Depression where people are living on the street that used to have jobs, and it's I mean, you can't even fucking imagine it, dude. And see, the fucked up thing about it is that during the times of the Great Depression, like, people knew how to live off the land and shit still. Like, they knew how to live a leaner lifestyle and how to scrimp and how to save and how to do all this shit. Like, people don't know how to do that shit now. So it's going to be fucking 10 times worse. Like, people don't know how to hunker down and, like, grow a victory garden or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's going to be chaos. And the government's going to have to intercede. And the only way that the government can really meaningfully intercede in that is, like I said, a massive new social investment. We're talking like an infrastructure program that puts millions of Americans to work in all 50 states and all territories, rebuilding roads and bridges, you know, from downtown areas to interstates to railroad maintenance, maybe even the building of a transcontinental high-speed railroad, some, you know, massive reinvestment in the maintenance of our infrastructure and putting people to work maintaining it, coupled with a UBI and single-payer healthcare that is massively expanded. Like, that that's a path. You know what I mean? But the other path is people are just going to be fucked. Will you still do Highdeology if you're homeless? Yeah, who was that guy? There's that dude, Terry something. Can't remember what his name was. He died. He got hit by a train or something. Terry. He wrote the Temple OS. He was a legitimate mentally ill person. Yeah, the Temple OS guy. Like, he was homeless for like the last 2 years of his life. Terry Davis, thank you. Yeah. He was homeless the last couple years of his life and managed to do like phone streams and shit. I'll figure it out. What's up, guys? Out here on the hard luck trail again, man. Pushing my little cart. Ban that guy that says I've lost a lot of weight. Ban anybody that mentions the fact that I'm fucking skinny now. Come on, Spectres, where you at? Anyway, we're going to dig through some trash cans, try and find some cans today. Going on a can hunt, chat. Thanks for my morning happy. Gonna go get ready for the morning wood. Yeah, take care, Missy Ann. Have a good one. What do you think of the anti-homeless designs you see in cities, like spikes, etc.? I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like it's such a fucked up. It's like I don't know, dude. Like, what do you say about it other than it's fucked up? It's like we live in a society that allow people to slip through the cracks to the point where they're living on park benches, and then in order to stop that, we create park benches where spikes come out at night so they can't even have a bench to sleep on at night. It's like when you're living in a fucking world that's gone that upside down, where common human empathy has gone that upside down, how can you not be an accelerationist? How can you not hope for it to collapse under the weight of its own greed? Can somebody ban Vilmer for me, please, by the way? If there's any specters around. If not, I'll take care of him. Because, yeah, I don't like... I'm not fucking like... I'm triggered by people telling me when to go to sleep. I'm not 12 anymore, bro. I don't have a bedtime, and I certainly don't answer to you, so get the fuck out of here. These stupid fucking morons, man. You go to sleep, bitch. I'm sorry, what? What just happened? Why did I get so mad? Whatever, it's over. Thanks for being willing to talk about things you don't agree with. Most people aren't even that open-minded. Cheers, bro. Whatever, cynic, man. Stop spreading misinformation. Just don't quit with this like, hey, we had a meeting of the mind shit. We didn't. You spouted some fucking crazy bullshit, and it's dangerous for you to insinuate that people should not take this virus seriously because they could end up fucking dying of it, drowning in their own fucking fluids in an overloaded fucking ICU ward somewhere. There are people right now suffering that fate, cynic. People, a lot of them probably felt just like you too, thought it was just a bunch of bullshit, went out, pretended it was all just a big fucking social control hoax and all this shit. I think that just happened. I think Altello did ban him. I'll end up unbanning Cynic, but he was in here spouting some fucking stupid ass shit. And I'm not going to do this like, oh yeah, we just had like a discussion type of shit. No, we didn't. You claimed a virus that's killing thousands of people a fucking day is a hoax in the middle of a fucking outbreak. That's not a discussion. I'll unban Cynic, but yeah, he was spitting booty chatter tonight. Like my show is, if anything, is not going to be a venue for do whatever you want. You know, go out, no mask, and fuck that shit. Like I ain't gonna signal boost that message. Not here. not on my channels. No sir. Is it wrong that I want COVID-19 to kill me so I'll be free from the agony of existence? Yes. Should probably get some help. Should probably talk to somebody about that. COVID is a very selfish way to pick to kill yourself, by the way, because you're probably going to expose 3 or 4 fucking people on your way out. So it's like, I'm going to kill myself and kill a bunch of other people. Don't be a plague rat. Don't be a fucking plague rat, dude. Oh, I've got, dude, Peds, I've got family members on my Facebook that I just can't even look at it anymore. I've stopped. Talking to my mom is about as far as I can go, and she'll sit and listen, but I know she doesn't believe, like, she's not taking it seriously. She's taking it more seriously than some are, but she's not, she's just tired of it. And that's the excuse a lot of these people are using. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm just tired of doing this now. And it's like, fuck you. Sorry, but if you don't want there to be a constant fucking outbreak of this horrible disease and you don't want it to just lower our fucking life expectation permanently and become a permanent part of our fucking lives. But that's really the end game with COVID. That is the kind of scary thing, is that at some point we reach like 90% exposure rate. And then at that point, everybody's had it and we can start developing herd immunity and shit. But unfortunately, like a few million people have to die on the way to that. So we have no chance of it. I mean, yeah, we're lucky at this point that COVID isn't a faster killing virus. It doesn't have a higher death rate, doesn't have a faster infection rate. Like, COVID is bad, but there are viruses that are way worse than COVID. One of those fucking things goes airborne and shit, and outbreaks like this one did. Like, this is like a canary in the coal mine. Like, COVID should be a warning to every fucking human being on the planet. That, like, here's a disease that's worse than the seasonal flu, that has a kill rate that's higher than the seasonal flu, but still pretty low. Look at the decimation it does to your world. It's like, oh, so you mean we need to change the way that our society is and stop acting like these things don't exist anymore? Okay. Are we going to learn that lesson? Fuck no. So really what you're seeing is a future outbreak map. You're seeing how the deadlier version of the next outbreak to come will spread as people blithely ignore it. No, I'm not doing it. Brains. Fuck. It's the T virus. The fucking T virus, man. Oh no. Wish we would have prepared for this. It's like, it's almost like we could have done something, to combat this or to prepare for this or something. But oh well. I unhid Cynic. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, he didn't need to be banned. I was just, he's a long time Highdeologite. I'm sure he'll send me a salty message or something on Twitter that I'll have to deal with too. But hey, that's the risk you take. It's the risk you take. I don't fault Otello. His heart was in the right place. And that's all I ask of my specters. He's probably writing it in the meantime, yeah. Paul, I'm very disappointed that I was banned from your chat. As you know, I've been a supporter of yours. And it's like, oh no, here we go. Here we go, buddy. I mean, yeah, dude, that's just a shit take. Like, you're not going to signal boost that, and we're not going to end that with a super chat saying, hey, we had a meeting of the minds here. It's just not going to happen, dude. You're fucking wrong. And it's dangerous that you're wrong. And the shit that you're talking about the fucking virus being a hoax or whatever the fuck, or about social control or whatever the hell dumbass fucking message you're trying to spread, it's dangerous because people believe that shit and they go out and they spread it. And then people like me who are trying our very best to be fucking careful at this time, we end up getting it because of you dumb fucks. So fuck off. I have self-interest here. It's not just the rest of fucking humanity that I'm concerned about. I don't want to fucking die choking on my own fluids. So eat a dick with this. It's a hoax shit. How's that for a super chat? You're gonna DM me? All right. Well, you know how I am, but I'll check it at some point and I'll get back to you. I really don't think there's nearly as many people calling the next virus a hoax if it's really, really painful like some past plagues. I mean, who knows? I wouldn't put it past this current climate to have people. I bet there were people back then that were like, oh, this Black Death ain't nothing. Here, watch this. Give me that rat. I'll kiss this rat. Everything is a hoax. Everything is a jokes. Everything is a hoax. Dude, there's nothing wrong with kissing rats, but I wouldn't grab a rat out of the New York City sewers and suck face with it, okay? There's a difference between a nice, clean little pet store rat that was bred to be a pet and a rat that's living in the fucking sewers, dude. These zombies beating on my door are clearly just radical BLM Antifas claiming this zombie disease exists just perpetuates this kind of behavior. Oh, I reckon these people are welcome to pretend they're zombies if they want to, but they better stay off my property. That's all I have to say to them. If they want to walk around and be crazy people, pretend that they're turning into zombies and eat each other, well, I guess that's just fine by me. Suits me just fine, but they better stay off my property while they're doing it. I lived through the 60s now. I know how to deal with hippies. I know how to chase a hippie off my lawn, and that's what this is. It's just the next hippie thing. Oh, look at me. I'm a big old dirty, long-haired, nasty guy that chases you around the streets. It's like a lot of people saying, oh, look at this. This is new. This is some disease. It's like, no, the hippies are just the hippies are just back, man. I know how to deal with the hippies. I watched my daddy chase him off the lawn. I know how to shoo some hippies away. And that's all this is. Everybody getting all in a fuss, talking all this nonsense about they eating brains. A hippie never ate a brain. Hippies are all vegans. These just dirty hippies that want a handout from the government. They're out there rioting. They're out there looting these stores, stealing people's watches. Everybody getting their panties all in a twist. What they need to do, just shoot the hippies. How long do you think we have till it gets real bad? I ain't got no crystal ball, man. I don't know. I mean, I hesitate always to make calls like that because look, that's where I think doomsayers like me and pessimists like me cross over into like crazy town territory. You know, when they're like, on October the 3rd. I mean, I know there are some things that are going to happen. Like I said, at the end of this month and the first few days of next month, there's going to be a mass wave of eviction notices that go out across the country. Now, what people do with those and what protections those people have in those situations is going to vary state to state. But there's going to be a mass amount of banknotes, final notices, and eviction notices, right? So that's happening that I can call. But as far as like when is there going to be pandemonium in the streets and everything's on fire and roaming gangs of looters killing everybody and mass hysteria and martial law and all that shit, I don't know. I don't even know if it'll play out like that, bro. I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, it sure does look like the military and the police are gearing up for a little, what would we call it? A war here on our soil. A war against some average folks. Sure does look like to me from all this footage coming from these protests and shit that our police have, what's the word, militarized? It's like they've gotten real good at beating people with big sticks and shooting people with guns from far away and snatching people up off the streets and shit. Doom, doom, doom. Sorry, but, you know, if we're going to mitigate any kind of damage, we're going to have to talk about what's about to happen. We're all going to have to, like, come to the table and be like, how do we mitigate this? So I'm not going to be that, like, everything's gonna be just fine. Like, I can't be that channel for you guys. Sorry. I can't be that person in my personal life, and I can't be that channel for you. I do not think everything is going to be just fine. I think we are watching the collapse of Western civilization as we know it. I think we are watching the collapse of the current global paradigm and the beginning of the next, whatever it is. And I think that transition is going to be violent and deadly and filled with war and starvation and homelessness and hunger and famine and terrible, terrible, horrible nonsense. When that's going to happen, well, you know, when people ask me that, a lot of times I want to say, what are you talking about? When is that going to happen? It's happening now. Rome, it took Rome like 100 years to fall. Rome didn't just fall overnight. It took Rome like 100 years to rot itself to the point where it could fall. Like, actually shit hit the fan, you know. But shit sucked in Rome for a long time, you know what I mean? So we're in it. We're also in the midst of a mass extinction event. So it's like the health of our civilization, extremely poor. The health of our planet, extremely poor. The health of the environment that supports the life forms on that planet, extremely fucking poor. The outlooks for any species living on this planet currently, much less human beings, poor. That's just the way it is, dude. I mean, that may fucking fill you with existential dread, or it may, you know, make it kind of suck to sit and listen to me talk about, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop saying it because that's just the way it is. Like, What are you doing to prepare for this? The same thing you are. Nothing. I'm talking about it, discussing it. Trying to get the leaders of our society to discuss it. I'm trying to put ourselves in a position where we as human beings can discuss it. There's really nothing else you can do. Your silver ain't going to get you shit. See, all this crap, all this like, hey, man, you know how I'm prepping? I have 6 weeks worth of MREs, 2 shotguns, and I own $60,000 worth of gold bullion. It's like none of that is going to be worth fuck. People are going to fucking throw that gold back in your face and say, we take food or we take some whatever commodity becomes, you know, there's a reason why the Fallout games use caps. You know what I mean? People are not, you can't eat fucking silver and gold, bro. Where's the food? Where's the gasoline? You hoarding that too? Enough to feed yourself and barter with? Methinks not. Most of you preppers are fucked. You just get to watch it like a couple weeks longer than everybody else. You just get to exist in the fucking hellhole for a couple weeks longer. Yeah, you hoarding clean water. It's just like ridiculous. Yeah, dude, toilet paper is going to be a forgotten luxury if the shit really gets bad, you know. Like there will be a time where just we're scooping our asses clean. Just like in the old days. Give it the old fling. Wipe it on the grass and head on down the dusty trail, you know what I mean? Yeah, dude. Why do the politicians refuse to do anything? Because they want to keep living the good life. They believe that they can stabilize this shit and ensure another generation or 3 of the good life and kick the can down the road. That's what they've been doing. And the problem is the can has been kicked and we've hit a cul-de-sac. The end of the road happens to be a cul-de-sac, and we're all living around the edges of the cul-de-sac, and we keep kicking this fucking can now. The problem's here. We've run out of places to run from it. We're in the midst of watching it happen. I mean, global warming made this COVID shit infinitely worse than it would have been. It's all connected. The chickens are coming home to roost. Buy silver. I love it, dude. I love the guy that was like, I'm just going to buy some silver. Ride this out. Luckily I've got gold. A lot of the people like they've invested in gold, right? And I'll be like, I remember there was I'm trying to remember. I didn't work with him, but he was like somebody that worked for the school district. He wasn't in my department, but he wasn't a teacher. He was in like the special services or whatever. And I saw him a lot, and he was talking always about how he had a bunch of gold. I was like, man, can I see some of it? He's like, well, you know, I don't have it. It's like, it's an investment. It's on paper. It's like, I own this gold that's here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're fucked. It's like, you think you're going to be able to make good on that gold? If the shit hits the fan, you think you're going to be able to call your broker and be like, I would like my bullion now. He's going to tell you to get fucked. There is no bullion. That gold belongs to whoever had it at the time that this shit went down, and you're fucked. All bets are off, dude. Like that lady in fucking Snatch. Can you read the sign? All bets are off. You never owned that gold in the first place. You had some weird ephemeral contract that was totally dependent on the existence and perpetuation of our current system that said that you kind of own some gold somewhere. The shit hit the fucking fan, and now you own nothing. And then the shit really hits the fan, and the people that have that gold are giving it away in fucking bucketfuls in exchange for food. You know what I mean? And then pretty soon it's just worthless. People are tossing it around in the streets and shit. There's building shelters out of gold bricks and like, you know what I mean? Good stuff, dude. It's been a long time since we had a good old pessimism stream, and I think I've been being easy on you guys with all this hopeful fucking solidarity shit I've been talking to you guys. It's been a while since I reminded the audience that we are all insanely fucked in the long term. Whatever, man. What can you do but laugh? What can you do but laugh and either accept it like I do to the extent that I can, or pretend that you can solve it. Ride with Biden or whatever. You know what I mean? Get in that car and see if it leads away from the apocalypse. Oh, the Joker mentality. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't have that one. But yeah, then there's the I revel in this. All those people that have the Joker mentality, like, I give TJ shit for this a lot because TJ will be like, I fucking love riots. And I'll be like, oh, yeah? What if one jumped off right outside your house and people were kicking your door down and stealing all your shit? Well, everybody always says that, but it's just like, dude, we're back to the central theme of tonight's stream. All the edgelords that are like, I love chaos, I love watching everything unravel. They're sitting in an air-conditioned room while they're typing that on a fucking computer that's connected to the internet and shit. They're living a level of fucking comfort and opulence that most people on this planet can only dream of. Of course they love chaos because it's not at their front fucking door. As soon as it knocks on their door in the form of a hungry horde or a mob of fucking rioters or a mob of fucking soldiers there to process them and take them to the camp or whatever the fuck, until that happens, until they're, you know, air-conditioned room and all their little sundries are taken from them, they're not going to give a fuck. And there are some people that like deal with that mentally by going like, oh, I love it. Oh, yes, I'm the kind of person that just revels in the chaos. Bring on the chaos. And then the chaos is like, and they're like, no, what can we do? How do we stop the chaos? It's like, pfft. How do we stop the chaos, man? Like, weren't you the guy that was in fucking, had your face painted half gold, wearing mascara and shit, and a top hat, talking about how you love watching everything unravel at the seams and it fills you with glee and shit? Here it is, motherfucker. Here's the reality of that. Your fucking whole life is being looted out from under you. Your wife is being carried away by a bunch of people that are probably going to rape her and then kill her ritualistically and eat her. You know what I mean? I love chaos. You know what they get what they deserve. I identify with this character. I love the chaos. All about the fucking chaos, man. Wrong. It won't even take the chaos coming to their front door. The chaos will really start for them when the grocery store is closed. And they're like, but I'm hungry. My DoorDash app hasn't worked for 2 weeks and I'm hungry. What happened? How has the world fallen apart so? Paul, are you learning to grow food? I know the basics of growing food, having grown up around my mother who kept a garden my whole life. When I was a little kid, I learned how to grow tomatoes and cucumbers and melons and, like little peppers, that sort of thing. So I have a very basic knowledge of how to do that already. I don't really have a place to do it in just now, but if it came down to it and I had some seeds, and assuming I was in an area of the world that would support that, like not here, where would drown most of my seeds. But yeah, I could do like a potted garden too. That's a possibility. I know how to do, I know how to do some shit. I know how to take care of tomatoes. Used to be my job as a kid to pick tomato worms off the tomatoes. I know how to deal with that shit. Well, that's what my mom had. She had a box garden basically at her last place. She finally ended up tearing it down. She doesn't maintain a garden anymore, but she's, retired, and my stepdad is retired, so it's a lot of work. Louisiana, you can live off shrimp and gator. Yeah, there you go. There you go, buddy. Oh, it's a lot of work. My mom had a triple box garden, 3 big boxes, and she grew, I think, 5 big tomato plants in there. She had a whole box of peppers and cucumbers and zucchinis and summer squashes and a box of, I think she was trying to grow corn at some point. Not corn. It wasn't corn. I don't remember. The last time I saw her big garden, when it was just filled with, like, she had all kinds of shit. Herbs, like she had an herb patch with all the fresh herbs and shit, but the work to maintain that is like pretty fucking crazy, as you can imagine. And mom's old. This is why we can eat meat, calories, fat. You need it. Vegans are done for. Yeah, so are meat eaters. Because do you know how to raise a fucking cow and butcher it and preserve the meat from it? Or are you just a meat eater that likes to fucking go to the store and buy a bunch of fucking packaged ground meat and eat it? Like, vegans are fucked and meat eaters are fucked. Like, do you think that the no matter what, you're going to be able to go and just buy a big fucking pork chop to cook up? Or maintain a herd of cows that you can selectively slaughter and eat every part of? Like, you can thump your chest all you want, meat eaters, but you're just as fucked as everybody else. Do you have any sort of escape route from the city? Escape route? Man. No. I mean, there are roads that lead out of the city. There's your escape route. Like, do I know some fucking game trail through the swamp or some shit? Like, no, I don't. You just gotta go into the bayous, bro. Gonna be eating maggots and dog food. The true Mad Max apocalypse. Oh boy. You think? Maybe. It's possible. The road, yeah. It's time for the road, y'all. Are you ready for the road? Me neither. Fuck. Do you have any sort of game plan if there's a food shortage? No, do you? How do you even have a game plan? Like what would my game plan be? Buy a bunch of MREs and fill my closet with them? That's going to last me what? 6 weeks, a couple months. Then what? You know what I mean? It's just like eat the rich. There's only one thing that they're good for. Eat the rich. Would you take future you's advice if given the opportunity, or are you not trustworthy? I wouldn't trust a word that future me says, man. The most trustworthy version of me is the me right now. Future me, that's a shady motherfucker right there. You don't want to hear nothing from me. I'll be a cult leader by then, you know? Like not a word that comes out of my mouth is believable at that point. Unless, of course, you're one of my cultists, in which case you better believe every fucking word. But no, future Paul's full of shit, man. You're a cult leader now, though. Don't tell him. I'm sorry, what were we talking about? That's what Cartman did, and it didn't work out. Most of the time, they don't. Like, there are very few successful cult stories, but they're out there, man. Like, fucking Mormonism started as a fucking cult. Still is a cult, in my opinion. Fucking Jehovah's Witness. That's a cult. There's a lot of rich Jehovah's Witnesses out there. Fucking Scientology. That's a cult. The most successful cult, Christianity, yeah. So, you know, most of them fizzle out, you know, collapse under the weight of their own hypocrisy or are busted up by the powers that be. But every once in a while, one of these cults takes off, man. And you don't know that it won't be mine. You don't know. You don't know it won't be the children of the salt. You never do know, dude. Maybe my positioning right here at the top of the apocalypse positions me to be the next figure to be worshipped. Maybe I'm the next Jesus, dude. What do you think about that? Maybe my cult takes off right as shit's hitting the fan and my name gets spread around and people, you know, make up this religious myth around my name, and there's a whole religion after I'm dead and gone that I don't even know about based around my teachings, dude. What do you think of that? What do you think of that narcissistic power fantasy? The salted ones, the salt of the earth. You've already got the hair and the beard. This is all prep. Like, this is I've been telling people for fucking years now that my exit strategy, like, when people ask me, like, what's your retirement plan? Start a cult. People think I'm joking. I am not joking. Like, look, some of us are built for certain things, and I got to tell you, man, I'm built to be a cult leader. I just have all the skills. I've got the fucking sleazy charm. I've got the look. I've got the fucking diseased mind. I've got it all, man. I got the total goddamn motherfucking package. Can I draw you as a rock biter, or should I draw you with an adorned beard? You draw me however you want to draw me, man. You're the artist. I'm just the muse, man. How do you see me today? Do I have big, strong hands, or do I have a festooned beard? You know, both of them sounds cool to me. Yeah, make them both. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon my belch. See, I haven't forgotten my social graces. I'm still polite as peach and pudding pie. I guess this is the early morning crew at this point. My sleep schedule is well and truly fucked. But whatever. I'll soldier on. I'll make it happen somehow. Your wife is mad. Oh man. Oh man. Better go get her some flowers or something. Got to maintain that shit, Marshall. I'm telling you. It's hard work being married. I'm sure you know that by now, but being married it's a thing, man. Being in a relationship, period, is hard work, but being married is a whole different thing. Will you ever become clean shaven again? I don't know. Probably not, but you never know what the future may bring. And get her a DVD set. Yeah, do something nice. Do something nice for her. Oh, yeah? You want to fuck? Well, why don't you just go fuck that Paul's ego that you're watching in all hours of the night and in the morning, too, all the way through the night till the sun is up? Yeah, you're horny? Why don't you go fuck that Paul's ego guy? It's like, uh-oh, you're in trouble. Well, I will I'll help some of you out because I feel that I am well and truly done. I feel like we have accomplished what we set out to accomplish tonight. We have been undeniably pessimistic tonight. We have hurt some feelings. We've alienated some minds tonight. That's just the truth. There are some people that have listened to the things that we've discussed tonight and have been turned off by what they heard. Those people, in various ways, are even now coming up with ways to dismiss the things that they heard tonight. Oh, this is just a product of Paul's mental illness, his diseased mind. This is just a horribly, horribly twisted and backwards worldview that this man holds. What a terror it must be to him, to live in a world where there is no sunlight. Everything's going to be just fine. Week or two, COVID over, economy right back where it started, getting better. Everything's great forever. Right?